Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today we'll be discussing a very relevant topic, that's mental health and COVID-19. Mental health is psychological, physical and social well-being. A mentally healthy person can cope with the day-to-day difficulties of daily life. Mentally healthy person is a social creature and he is contented with his life. Since the dawn of this civilization, man has been seeking happiness. Not only man, but every living creature, the animals, birds and the aquatic, they seek the same. Animals have limited desires for food and shelter, but man not only has lost touch with nature, but has destroyed the natural habitat of other living creatures. Man is in misery because of his desires and immediate gratification. He clings to the hedonistic point of view, which states of seeking pleasure and comfort and avoiding difficulties. Since centuries, man has been devastating the environment, which has led to collapse of ecosystem, wildlife, increase in greenhouse gases and global warming. The man has created havoc not only for himself but for other creatures. This has led to certain disappearance of species. It is estimated that 150 to 200 species of animals, mammals, reptiles are disappearing from the world every day. 200 million animals are being slaughtered for food. If we include in this figure of 200 millions other farm fish and wild creatures, the whopping figure of 3 billion are being massacred every day to feed the world. In addition, would like to discuss a holy hymn enshrined in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, which states, "Our Joan, Teri Panhari, is dharti maaye, Teri Sikhdari." Other creatures are your servants, and man, you are the ruler. These figures are the creation of man. Bhutan is a tiny country which has extraordinary achievements in the realm of environment. Bhutan is the only country in the world which is carbon negative, which means that it reduces or it takes away more carbon dioxide than it produces, because 60% of its land is covered by jungle. It is again the only country where it is constitutionally obligation to protect the environment. Nobody is allowed to kill or smoke or harvest tobacco in that country. It is also known as the greenest and the happiest country in the world. COVID-19 pandemic has created havoc with mental health. It has taken a heavy toll of human life and has caused upsurge of various mental problems. For example, stress, anxiety, depression, suicide has increased during the lockdown period. The reason for this increase in mental breakdown is the confinement post-lockdown, lack of social interaction, lack of sunlight exposure, and fear of exposure to coronavirus. The domestic violence has increased so much so in the world that the UN chief had to address the nations of the world to protect the women in their places where they should be the safest. More than 300 studies done in different parts of the world, in different oceans and different continents, reveal that after lockdown, animals, reptiles and fish, they are breathing easy. Their fear and stress has decreased due to the decrease in human movements. In his book, My Only Home, Dalai Lama and Franz Zelt describe the climate change. They advocate the holistic education which states the interrelatedness and interdependence of life. They describe this earth, our home, is on fire, and it is common sense that we should take necessary steps to put out the fire. We did not, and nature has struck the anthropos button. Let us learn the message of pandemic, this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and little country Bhutan, the Ashraf Makhlukat, which means the crown of creation of nature, the human beings, they should be more humane towards their fellow beings. All the countries, the nations of the world, they should come together and learn lesson from Bhutan and make collaborated efforts to bring down the greenhouse gases and the global warming and improve the environment. They should contemplate on the human development and the environmental degradation. It's a very important issue for the world to consider. And lastly, the education should be holistic and should lead to scientific and value-based learning. In the end, we would like to discuss that if we want to prevent further tsunamis, hurricanes and similar pandemics, we have to take preventive measures. Let us remember Albert Schweitzer, who said, quote, "As long as we do not show kindness to the animal creatures, we cannot ask for world peace," unquote. Thank you very much.